At such a moment, it is not the physical pain which hurts the most. It is the mental agony caused by the injustice, the unreasonableness of it all. When a man cannot find meaning, he numbs himself with pleasure. God is the partner of your most intimate soliloquies. Once man's search for the meaning of life is successful, it not only renders him happy but also gives him the capability to cope with suffering. I recommend that the Statue of Liberty be supplemented by a Statue of Responsibility on the West Coast. When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. What is to give light must endure burning. I understood how a man who has nothing left in this world still may know bliss, be it only for a brief moment, in the contemplation of his beloved. Everything can be taken from a man but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way. Those who have a why to live can bear with almost any how. We needed to stop asking about the meaning of life and instead think of ourselves who are questioned by life daily and hourly. Our answer must consist in right conduct. Life ultimately means taking the responsibility to find the right answer to its problems and to fulfill the tasks which it constantly sets for each individual. Man does not simply exist but always decides what his existence will be. But there was no need to be ashamed of tears, for tears bore witness that a man had the greatest of courage, the courage to suffer. The attempt to develop a sense of humor and to see things in a humorous light is some kind of a trick learned while mastering the art of living. If you dedicate yourself to a cause, they say success will follow. For the world is in a bad state, but everything will become still worse unless each of us does his best. There is nothing conceivable which would so condition a man as to leave him without the slightest freedom. An abnormal reaction to an abnormal situation is normal behavior. How could I have interpreted such a coincidence, other than as a challenge to live my thoughts instead of merely putting them on paper? Only slowly could these men be guided back to the commonplace truth that no one has the right to do wrong, not even if wrong has been done to them. Between stimulus and response, there is a space. In that space is our power to choose our response. In our response lies our growth and our freedom. Every human being has the ability to change at an instant. Happiness cannot be pursued. It must ensue, and it only does so as an unintended side effect of one's personal dedication to a cause greater than oneself. Ultimately, man should not ask what the meaning of his life is, but rather must recognize that it is he who is asked. Even when it is not fully attained, we become better by striving for a higher goal. In some ways, suffering ceases to be suffering at the moment. It finds a meaning, such as the meaning of a sacrifice. No man should judge unless he asks himself in absolute honesty whether in a similar situation, he might not have done the same. The last of the human freedoms is to choose one's attitudes. Suffering unnecessarily is masochistic rather than heroic. Challenging the meaning of life is the truest expression of the state of being human. It is not freedom from conditions, but it is the freedom to take a stand toward the conditions. So, live as if you were living already for the second time, and as if you had acted the first time as wrongly as you are about to act now. Ever more people today have the means to live, but no meaning to live for. A man's concern, even his despair, over the worthwhileness of life is an existential distress, but by no means a mental disease. Furthermore, by his love, the loving person enables the beloved person to actualize these potentialities. There is nothing in the world, I venture to say, that would so effectively help one to survive even the worst conditions as the knowledge that there is a meaning in one's life. It is, therefore, up to the patient to decide whether he should interpret his life task as being responsible to society or to his own conscience. There are things which must cause you to lose your reason, or you have none to lose. By making him aware of what he can be and of what he should become, he makes these potentialities come true. Love is the only way to grasp another human being in the innermost core of his personality. You don't create your mission in life, you detect it. The greatest task for any person is to find meaning in his or her own life. Decisions, not conditions, determine what a man is. The salvation of man is through love and in love. Love goes very far beyond the physical person of the beloved. It finds its deepest meaning in his spiritual being, his inner self. Life is never made unbearable by circumstances, but only by lack of meaning and purpose. It is a peculiarity of man that he can only live by looking to the future. Man is capable of changing the world for the better if possible, and of changing himself for the better if necessary. But everything great is just as difficult to realize as it is rare to find. The truth that love is the highest goal to which man can aspire. Faith is trust in ultimate meaning. In the long run, I say, success will follow you precisely because you had forgotten to think about it. Human kindness can be found in all groups, even those which as a whole it would be easy to condemn. Pleasure is, and must remain, a side effect or byproduct, and is destroyed and spoiled to the degree to which it is made a goal in itself. It did not really matter what we expected from life, but rather what life expected from us. Fear makes come true that which one is afraid of. There are two races of men in this world, the decent man and the indecent man. The meaning of life is to help others find the meaning of theirs. No one can become fully aware of the very essence of another human being unless he loves him.